Welcome back to the Cult Cafe at the Cinema Arts Center. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your patronage. Thank you for supporting independent cinema. This all works because of people like you. Go get your refreshments, see what's playing next, buy some tickets. Let's get on with this David Cronenberg retrospective. We are dab smack in the middle of it, and if you couldn't be anywhere else in the world, I'm glad that you're here tonight with us. Defying all expectations, there are two great horror remakes of the 1980s. One of them being John Carpenter's The Thing, the other David Cronenberg's The Fly. I would argue to say that this is Cronenberg's most popular film. Audiences and critics alike love this film. I would also say for the record that this is Jeff Goldblum's star-making performance. It really brings him into the pop culture zeitgeist, and a lot more people know him because of this movie. Not just because of Transylvania 65000, which was fine. I like it. Originally, there were a lot of people in contention to play the role of Brundlefly. One being John Lithgow, the other being John Malkovich. But hey, do you know who Cronenberg really wanted for this role? Shockingly, Pierce Brosnan. But unfortunately, he couldn't be in the movie because he was in Remington Steele. It was also the same producers from that show that didn't want him to play James Bond. It was meant to be. Goldblum is wonderful. A young Jerry Horror was not able to see this movie in theaters, so I'm jealous of you right now. This was a VHS film for me. My mother made me cover my eyes during all the naughty bits, but it was okay to see gratuitous violence and gore. She was fine with that. But God forbid I see a boob. Now, shockingly, David Cronenberg was deep into pre-production on Total Recall. Shockingly, obviously, he didn't do that film. He handed it over to Paul Verhoeven. He thought that this film, The Fly, spoke more to his creative sensibilities. And the proof is in the pudding. I don't know what a Paul Verhoeven Fly would be like, but you know what? I'm kind of curious. I'm also kind of curious as what Cronenberg's Total Recall would have been. Different world, in some multiverse with some Spider-Man, you can go see that. Mel Brooks. Yes, that Mel Brooks produced this film. Much like he did with David Lynch's The Elephant Man, he kind of stepped back into the shadows. He didn't want to confuse audiences as to think like, Mel Brooks presents The Fly, because that would have just been wacky, and I understand his intentions, but hey, Mel Brooks, champion of filmmakers in cinema. Who knew? Hey, as a side note, my name is Jerry Horror. I have a little podcast called The Offering. Take a listen. It's available wherever better podcasts are heard. If you enjoy this, you're gonna love the show. I promise. Okay, we're almost done. Chris Wallace. Hey, look, if you're gonna say The Fly, you gotta say the Oscar-winning film The Fly, because Chris Wallace, special effects artist, won an Oscar for his makeup effects in this movie. And they're incredible, and they still hold up. And you're gonna see why, because we're about to watch it. So just hold on, we're almost there, I promise. Now, some people say this movie was made for $9 million. Other reports say $15 million. Who's to know? Who's to believe? Either way, this Canadian shot film ends up making over $60 million worldwide. And the craziest part is that this movie made over $100 million on home video releases. It was a huge staple in every video store. I mean, it was almost inescapable. And with good reason. It's a great film. The Fly is an absolute banger. It's a classic. It's 96 minutes. It's a 20th century Fox movie of 1986 with all the trimmings. I love this kind of stuff. I love when you got a little auteur director who comes to a big studio and makes a movie like this, and it's magic. Say what you will, but I think The Fly is a banger. It still slaps. I don't have any funny metaphors, but I will tell you this. On January 27th, we're showing Cronenberg's Crash. You don't want to miss that one. I couldn't see that in theaters either. It was rated NC-17. My mother didn't let me see anything. With that being said, thank you for coming out tonight. We appreciate you. We appreciate you coming here and showing your love for the art of film. And that's what brings us all together. And hey, if the guy next to you smells, move over a seat. Don't make a big thing about it, because he might smell. You know, there's a lot of people here who are stoned, especially that girl over there. She's totally stoned. It's a judgment-free zone. It's a new year, new me. Let's get together, baby. The power of cinema.